Toy Tractor Times is here with Josh Riese from Dane, Wisconsin, and it's safe to say that Josh is a Meyer Forage Box fan, and we've got a pretty cool looking display here that features forage harvesting throughout the season, from alfalfa all the way into the corn season. So let's take a look at this display and see what you built.
All right, well, this one here I started as this will be late June, early July. You have the farmer out checking his corn crop, making sure it's coming in. General rule of thumb, obviously, is you want your corn knee high by July 4th. Around us, it's usually chest to head high.
Sure.
Because we have mutant corn, and we're just north of Madison, Wisconsin, where we live. So this would be the perfect time to be out checking the corn. You got the local farmer out doing his first crop. We got a 4620 Meyer box there.
That's a nice big forage box.
Pretty common for your 100, 150, maybe 200 head of cattle dairy farm that we have around us. Got a 7250 deer, which would a lot of your farms now are having some newer tractors, but obviously still the old stuff. And we obviously have the loader on it because
that's a really cool setup with that loader. I like that.
That one there is 3D printed. I believe that was Matt Cassidy that did that.
Okay.
Did an awesome job on it. And Zeb Mueller gave me a couple of tips on how to make it raise higher too. So they did a really nice job on that, and I really do like that.
We've got the classic 900 forage harvester out there.
Yep, either that or like an FP240.
Okay.
Is pretty common around us. So that's why I chose that one. And New Holland seems to have a pretty good pull behind chopper that is still used. Then we got the next guy here, basically our 8226 Meyer box and a 4220 as well. Running DOT duals on it, you can actually load it a little heavier than your standard floats with it, as we have found with a couple of corn silage guys.
So I've always wondered, when I'm out filming chopping, I'll be at a farm and they'll run both styles. What advantages, or what do you have when you have your axles here in the center versus like the tow behind wagon? What preferences, or what are you trying to meet there with them?
More or less along the lines of your farmer and compaction. One of my local farmers has all their boxes on like a Meyer 2206 running gear. Mm-hmm. They say it provides less compaction. Then you have the guys that run more of the tandem setup. And this one here is actually on a suspension chassis, even as that is, so you can load it a little heavier. Designed a little bit more for speed. Obviously, they're trying to get it in and out as fast as they can.
Yeah, these big choppers, when they're getting up to 800-900 horsepower, they can cover a lot of ground.
They cover a lot of ground, and it's one of the reasons why Meyer has designed their box for a rear unload and have it unloaded in 45 seconds or less.
Wow. So that's moving a lot of tons. So are these like 10-ton wagons, or they haul more than that?
45 ton.
45 ton, okay.
The 2200 XL, XTS 2200 XL chassis that this one is built on is designed for 45 ton worth of product.
Wow, that's huge.
You can then on the front unload, fully loaded box can be unloaded in 12 minutes.
I like the detail there with the alfalfa hanging over the beaters, and
that front end took me quite a bit of time.
Well, it definitely paid off.
All the extra little angles and the gearbox with the hydraulics and everything in there, that was, Meyer did a great job, but it's really hard to replicate.
And I noticed you've got the splash guard here on that side to hold that silage in.
Yep.
Well, I guess we'll move on into the later in the year where you're getting more hay cut and also getting into the corn silage.
Yep, this year, this display I did basically as around us. About Labor Day, you always start chopping corn for corn silage, and you'd be doing third or fourth crop hay depending on when you started. Obviously, every 28 days is when you want to do hay for your highest nutrition value for dairy cattle.
So I guess we'll take a look here at the hay field. What kind of box do we have on this S1900 truck?
This here is a 4220 truck mount. Actually, the first Erdl truck I've ever modified. It's always been die-cast motion, so this is kind of a little bit of a challenge for me to try and get it done right. We've got the floater tires because a lot of guys will have the floater tires on the truck for obviously less compaction, better, your short hauls. Not so much your longer hauls, but do tend to work a little bit better.
You get out there, and that's a lot of weight on a truck, and you get in some sticky spots. It doesn't hurt to try to power on through them with a tire like that.
Exactly. And we got the 960 Kloss and Deere are the two big choppers around us, so that's pretty common around us.
And then we got a semi-trailer here.
Semi-trailer is a 9130. Meyer does the 9130 in 3 different versions: semi-trailer, truck mount, and big egg cart, which we'll see on the next display.
So how many tons does a semi-trailer hold versus the truck mounted over here?
I actually kind of forget that one.
Okay. Pop quiz.
Yeah, pop quiz. I know the Meyer product pretty well. As tonnage-wise, I haven't looked too much into it because the owners are more or less, I need this now.
Sure. Well, they look good. Now, I guess, so we've got this one here on a Peterbilt, and it looks like maybe a longer one coming over here for the corn silage?
Yep. They're semi-trailers. They technically do in 24, 30, 36, and 40 feet lengths. Your 24 and 30 feet are kind of more specialized trailers. 36 and 40 are your 2 most common trailers that you would see from Meyer.
So what size is this one here?
These 2 here are 40 foot.
All right, and is this one over here like the 30?
Yep, this is 30 foot here.
30 foot, okay.
So you can see the difference in length between a 30 and a 40.
Okay.
But 40 foot is actually one of their more common boxes for your semi trucks to be hauling. Obviously, you can throw a lot of weight on it, a lot of silage on it, and keep it moving. Because the way that these choppers are nowadays, get it in, get it out as fast as you can, keep it moving.
Well, and I guess Meyer, if you can get your name put up on the boxes when you order them.
Yep, that's free of charge from Meyer. It's kind of, you've already purchased the box from us, and you got a custom setup. We'll put your name on it, not a problem.
Very cool. Now you got an interesting Forage Harvest Deere here. It's a John Deere, but it kind of has a metallic look to it instead of the standard green paint.
Yep, I did that as more of my a custom crew, like Vanderloo Farms and up by Rosendale, whatnot. They all have custom painted Kloss choppers, and I'm more of a Deere guy, so I wanted something that would stand out. It's done with House of Color paint, so it's a GM black with House of Color paint on top of it to give it the metallic look. So as you look at it, it's black, but you get it in the right light and it turns green. The organic green House of Color is the same as the chassis and the handrails.
Well, that's
and all the
cool.
vents.
A nice looking at 80. Now, is that 8800 there?
8800, yep.
Okay.
My wife ended up doing the stickers for me, so she does an awesome job at taking my large print and making it small for me.
Nice. Now, what is the difference between a red box and a black box?
Color preference from your.
Okay.
Basically, it's just color preference from your whoever is buying it.
Okay.
That's Meyer's 2 standard colors is red and black.
Very nice. I see you even got a kind of see-through window to see where you are on loading and.
Yep, those windows are standard on all Meyer boxes. You can get it done usually 2 different ways, either the 2-pane or a big open window, like this one here has got a big single open window. Once again, just preference of the farmer.
Well, let's move on to the fall harvest here, because it looks like we're probably getting a 4th cut across the way here and getting into October and shelling some corn.
Yep, late October, early November for us around the Madison, Wisconsin area. Doing some seed corn and 4th or 5th crop hay, once again depending on your time of the year that you started it.
Well, so now they're shelling corn over here, getting it off the field, and got a 7088 combine axle flow.
Yep.
And Case IH 440 quad track.
Yep.
And the good old Unverfirth cart. So they're filling up the trucks, and I guess they're sending grain over here to be milled and chopped in the bunker. Or?
Well, the way this one's set up is this is a whole separate crew, and then we would have another another company working here. Obviously, my Riese services, my custom crew, shelling the corn. Meyer makes this nice little attachment here, which is a grain attachment. It hooks right into the hooks on the back of the box, so you can use your box all year long.
Okay.
So you can do haylage during the spring, summer, silage, corn silage during the fall, and then you take this and hook it right into the hooks, and you slow down your chains a little bit, your live floor, and then use it for grain.
So you got a portable pit here where you would dump your corn right in there, and they're augering it into the forage harvester.
Yep. I've seen it done a couple times where it's actually a little faster, and you can put it in your bunker a little faster as well. And with the high horsepower choppers, you know, a little bit of welding, and you can make a little hopper and not necessarily have to have a whole separate piece or rent another piece just to grind your corn for the season.
And what model chopper is this?
It's a 7580.
Okay. So then you got a movable spout there, so they can actually just blow that right into the bunker?
Yep, blow it right into the bunker so the tractor can come and get it, and if the tractor's on one side, you can move the spout to the other side. Not so much to keep the tractor cleaner, but you can keep the tractor a little cleaner, because obviously, as we know, corn goes everywhere when you're chopping it.
Plus, you can fill your corners in a little easier.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we got a John Deere here with a Degelman blade, ready to start pushing up that feed.
Yep, 8420 there. Adam Ferrix did the blade, did an awesome job on that. He actually did it for a newer model, 8000 series Deere, and it worked really well on this older model, which looks really nice on there.
And what model here do we have on the Meyer box?
This one here is a 8235.
Okay. And then we've also even got a Bobcat telehandler here in the bunk.
You got the 7920 running the hydraulics for the hopper and the auger there. Something new I'm starting to work on here, which is a front 3-point for a 7920. Found out that it's pretty paper thin once you scale everything down correctly, so I'll have to do it in a couple different ways to make it fully work the way I want to, but it's actually printable.
And then we've got another custom painted tractor over here, 7R.
Yep, nice little 7R there. A little bit higher speed than some of the 8Rs that are around, but you can still put a 24-foot box behind it and move it pretty fast.
And then it looks like we got an early 8R coming in, or?
Yep, earlier 8R 8295 on a Versabagger ID 900 that Zeb Mule and I started a while back, and he ended up finishing it. Did an awesome job on that. Farm down the road runs that bagger in the 8226, so it's something real common around us. And so he did an awesome job with the design and making it function the way it should.
Then we've got a Case IH Optum here pulling looks like a heavy duty Meyer
9130 on the big HFX cart, which, like I said, Meyer designed this cart so you can pull that cart fully loaded with a 200 horsepower tractor.
That's moving a lot of tonnage. And
big 710 26.5 tires on the back, so biggest radial tire you can get without having over wide stickers on it.
You had mentioned Vandaloo, which is a big chopping company, and their choppers reminded me of the John Deere patio series lawn and garden tractors. They've got orange and
black and white.
What color is this?
This here is a Brandywine color, House of Color. Three coats of gold to 3 coats of their Brandywine color will end up getting you this coat. It's a reactive paint, so depending on what your coating is, will end up changing the color completely. So you'll never have 2 of the exact same colors unless you're really, really good.
Oh, that's a cool looking chopper. And we'll just kind of give the drone view of the chopper coming into the field here. And then one more box over here on another truck.
Yep, 379 Peterbilt with a 9126 box on it. I did this one a little bit different because it was actually kind of a mistake, and after I did the mistake, Meyer really liked it, and they're kind of contemplating doing a couple of custom random boxes like that for their customers.
Oh, that's pretty cool influence.
The black and red combo just looks so cool together. I mean,
It does.
but it does not work the other way with the red box with the black top to it. It only works, from what I've seen, it only works that way really well. It really makes the trucks pop, box pop, you know, whatnot, and it's actually been fairly common. I've sold a couple of these to a couple of my customers, a couple of their customers looking at them.
I like the color combo, so if I see a real one, I'll know that Josh is the influence. Well, Josh, thanks for sharing this display here at the summer show. It's really neat to learn about the Meyer's products and Sea Forage harvesting.
Not a problem. Thank
Thanks.
you.